Financing section. A mortgage is a pledge of property to the lender as security of payment of the debt. The mortgager is the borrower giving the pledge to the lender. The main step for securing a mortgage is qualifying the buyer, which includes securing a credit report and employment history. A debt-income ratio is a loan qualifying tool. Simply said, if you had $1 million and owed $10, that would be a good debt-income ratio. If you had $10 and owed $1 million, that would be terrible. And don't forget about the property. It must be appraised because that property is the collateral for the loan. The mortgagee is the lender receiving the pledge. The mortgagor is the one who borrows the money to purchase property. The borrower will sign a note. A note is an evidence of debt stating the amount borrowed, the interest rate, and the loan terms. In a note, the borrower is making the promise to repay, so the borrower is the promisor and the lender is the promisee. When recorded, the mortgage becomes a voluntary lien on the property. The rights the borrower gives the lender in a mortgage document are determined by state law. States are classified as lien theory, title theory, and intermediate theory states. Remember, a lien is a legal interest that a creditor has in a person's property. Most states are lien theory states, giving the lender a lien interest in the property. This means that if the borrower defaults, the lender would foreclose through a judicial sale. A judicial sale is a sale made under court order rather than a voluntary sale by the owner or someone appointed by the owner. In title theory states, the lender holds title to the property. Because the lender holds the title, the law interprets the lender as owning the property until the final payment is made. A trust deed is the security document used in most title theory states. This is how it works. A trust involves 3 parties, a trustor, trustee, and a beneficiary. At the closing, the borrower, who is the trustor, signs the deed of trust and gives legal title to the trustee. Remember, or, is always the giver and E always receives. The trustee is usually a title insurance company or an attorney. They hold the title for the beneficiary, which is the lender. The borrower has equitable title. Equitable title is the present right to possession with the right to acquire legal title once a preceding condition has been met. Once the loan has closed, there are 2 possible scenarios. The first is where the borrower, the trustor, makes all the appropriate payments to the lender and pays off the loan. When the final payment is made, the lender will sign a request of reconveyance to the trustee, and the trustee will issue a Reconveyance Deed to the trustor. A Reconveyance Deed is used in conjunction with a trust deed. Its purpose is to clear the title of any liens pertaining to the note and trust deed. The second scenario is when the borrower defaults on the loan. In this case, the beneficiary would notify the trustee would notify the trustor, and give them a time period to get the payments up to date. If the payments are not made, the trustee would conduct a non-judicial foreclosure, also known as a trustee's sale. This concludes the section on financing.